of multiple Form 34A from the same polling stations with different results, changing numbers in the voter register, Forms 34B that are missing serial numbers, Forms 34B printed in non-standard formats, notes and data missing from the handover and takeover sections, pages missing from published Forms 34B.
Rather than using the historic Supreme Court judgment to reform and raise electoral standards, the 5-year cycle of electoral instability.
You're shifting?
Yeah. Rather than using the historic Supreme Court judgment to reform and raise electoral standards, the 5-year cycle of electoral instability has been further entrenched. This is horribly costly in ways the nation cannot afford and continues to create uncertainty and fear. The country needs to draw a line on this and raise the bar for elections once and for all. We the people are concerned that a legal challenge is again probable, and far from resolving the failure of the August 8th election, it raises the prospect of yet another election being held within the 60 days as required by the Constitution, or at the very least an ongoing political crisis with a protracted legal contest. This means that Kenya is not only back where it started in August, but it is also faced with a deepening and dangerous national crisis. We the people reject this illegal election and also reject calls for another election in 90 days, as this would have to be managed by what now has become a completely discredited electoral management body. Furthermore, the prevailing atmosphere of fear and violence cannot support another election so soon after the last two. The country would need to heal before it can conduct another election. The country is an escalating crisis that has been exacerbated rather than resolved by last week's election. It has resulted in more disruption, death, and violence. Kenya is in the grip of a massive security crisis marked by impunity in state institutions.
We, the people, note the failure by the international community to support democracy in Kenya. Do Kenyans not deserve the highest standards of democracy? There is a looming crisis of leadership, and the country needs instead a mechanism to reassert the sovereignty of the people. Who is in charge of the country as these problems are resolved? It is not clear whether the temporary incumbency arrangement is still in play. There are limits on how the IBC can be reformed with the diminished powers of the president during the temporary incumbency period. Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta lacks broad public legitimacy, and it is unclear how the opposition's resistance will impact his ability to effectively govern the country. We, the people, seek to institute a mechanism to manage a transition period within a year, in which we can properly reform the electoral management body and establish an agency that can genuinely deliver free, fair, and credible elections, help reduce national tensions and divisions, and provide solace for victims and survivors. We, the people, call on the country to work together to find creative ways to resolve this crisis and heal the tensions and injuries inflicted on the nation.